Abbey Shores, where shadows play, the alley whispers night and day. In Abomination, alley's grip, where fear and danger tightly knit. Oh, the alley breathes a tale untold of secrets dark and hearts grown cold. Abbey streets, they'll pull you in to the depths where sin begins.
Here we go, being on time and everything. And
Oh
Hello.
boy. Here,
we'll
I'll
just do
stand in for
interpretive dance for
I'll,
Jason.
I'll stand in for Jason. Hello, it's Tuesday night. You know what that means.
Did that get it?
Welcome to Die Bad Adventures.
Okay, that got it. Y'all can all shut up now.
All right.
Where we're playing.
Well, we're just gonna have a silent game now, Jason. Come on, there might have still been silent picture.
Continue.
Hello,
Oh.
and welcome to. Great. Now y'all throw me completely off.
Now we made you nervous.
Hello, welcome to Dire Bear. It's Tuesday night, so of course that means we're playing Abomination Alley, or BRP actual play. I'll be your GM for the evening, Jason, and with me as usual will be Sarah playing Vivian, Carr playing Teak, Eric playing Michael, Patrick playing Leo, Jeremy playing Salvador, Rappy playing Charlie, and Duba playing George. And who remembers what happened last week? Which should be all of you because we reviewed it earlier.
I learned a lot about Teek's backstory.
Finally got the band entirely together.
Yep.
Specifically
yeah.
Salvador.
Maybe not on the same page, but together.
The band has all exchanged numbers and names.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We also now have a meeting point. We have a diner.
And soon, hopefully, an office. Mickey's office.
Yeah.
All right. And the problem that y'all were looking into was someone has killed members of the orc mob.
That was the Brewers.
And roughed up some of the Brewers.
The rest of the party doesn't know yet, but believes it to be a third party trying to pit the two together.
Even Boss Marduk is a little suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to have to do something relatively soon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but he did tell Teak and Salvador that he would be, perfectly happy to pay them to investigate this.
As a third party.
Well, a neutral third party.
As an unbiased third party.
Exactly.
I'm sure it'll go over well.
Popular opinion says downvotes.
A perfectly reasonable paid third party.
Yeah. We have investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing.
Too real.
Well, now, he was going to hire you to find the truth, whatever the truth was.
Yep.
Yeah. I think in the car, Salvador's just like, we're not telling them that, right?
Which part? About the money?
Yeah.
No. We're not telling him about that one.
Got it. Onward.
All right. So I think most of you
Steaks.
we ended. I'm trying to remember where each individual one of you was. Was everybody?
Steve and
think we
Salvador
kinda-
were driving away.
Michael and Vivian were leaving the
Police station.
police station.
Yeah.
George was leaving, talking with the Brewers Guild, and Charlie had gone to do chores and such.
Okay.
I think we kind of arranged to meet up the following morning-ish at Violet's.
I believe that's right.
Give Teak time to sleep off the shot glass.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's start off with Rappy. If Rappy's with us. All right. So you had finished up the chores that you were planning, that you were spending the afternoon doing. Since it was the first off day you'd had from the hospital in a while. Now, as you're getting home, I can't remember if I asked you this last week or not, but what part of town do you live in?
No, we did not ask me
Okay.
this last week.
Or what, how nice a neighborhood are you in?
Decently enough nice
Okay,
neighborhood,
middle class.
give or take.
Okay.
Because her wealth is, I think, for a doctor, it was affluent?
Yeah, for a doctor, it probably
Wrong
would
thing.
be.
It's wrong. Yeah. So a decently nice neighborhood.
Wait, are you using which? Because you've got 2 sheets on here. Which sheet are you using?
Rapid 2. I
Okay,
didn't
okay.
change it.
That's
I
the
put
one.
average, but I think it was affluent.
And were you a doctor or a nurse?
Doctor.
Okay.
They have
So,
2
yeah.
doctors.
First day, first day off. But as you're going back in, you're walking down the hallway to your apartment. You hear some clanging and banging in an apartment, a door down from you. The door suddenly, whips open, and a fairy comes flying out at high speed, holding her arm. Throw you out a picture.
The masked fairy.
There's yelling coming from inside. You hear somebody screaming in, get back here, you flower sniffer.
Jeez.
A man follows her out. He's a halfling. Kind of big on the big side for a halfling. So, still shorter than you, for sure, Charlie. With a fairy is on the smaller side, even for a fairy. But he's got a baseball bat in his hand. As she zips past you for the door, he rears back and flings the baseball bat at her, but he misses. And she hits the door at the end of the hallway, knocks it open down into and is into the stairwell. Give me I was gonna say a dex roll, but it's called something else.
There's dodge.
There is
Or-
a dex.
Yeah, there's
Agility,
agility.
an agility
There's-
roll next to your deck. Yeah, give me an agility roll.
Well, dodge could potentially. Get
Well,
you a
that's for
skill.
combat, and this isn't going to be damage related.
Guess I failed.
So
It
yeah,
might be combat.
this guy winds up plowing into you.
Brad.
It's like he's kind of half got around you, but you're turning around, looking. And y'all just get tangled up and go down in a pile. You drop your laundry. He sort of scrambles back and takes a couple steps, like, damn it. And then, turns around. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Thief. Caught a thief in the act. Over here, let me help you pick up your. And he stops because the first piece of clothes he was reaching for were some of your unmentionables. So he just sort of stops. Let me help you up. I'm very, very sorry. And you've seen this guy. Y'all, you don't really know him, but y'all said hi in the hallways before. It's usually pretty quiet. You don't ever hear, a lot of noise out of his apartment or anything.
Mm-hmm. What did they steal? What did she steal? Or was attempting to steal?
I'm not really sure what she was. She was poking through my drawers when I walked in on her. So I'm not sure if she was going for something specific or if she was just rummaging around, going to take whatever she wanted. I thought this was a better neighborhood than that.
Usually is.
Well, anyway, very, very sorry about running into you. I should have been watching more of where I was going. And he starts to step back in his apartment, and then it's like he realizes, oh, right. And he runs down to where the baseball bat had landed.
Just be more. What's the word? Aware of your surroundings when swinging that. Okay.
Oh, yes. Like I said, I'm very sorry. Just something about thieves gets to me. I completely lost my temper. I should have. I'm very sorry, man. And I'm sorry. What was your name again? I know we've spoken before, but
Charlie.
oh, that's right. Well, again, Charlie, I'm very sorry. Oh, I'm Dutton, by the way.
And that's spelled how?
Dutan, I guess.
And you said
Yes, he-
halfling.
Yes, he is a halfling.
Okay.
So as you walk past his door, give me. Hang on a second. I need to just keep a generic sheet up, don't I?
Probably.
Spot, I think is what I'm looking for.
Spot.
Yes, give me a spot.
Second to find it. Oh, succeeded.
Nice.
Oh, yes, very nice. So as you walk by, you glance. You're not trying to be nosy, but he's walking back into the room with baseball bat thrown over his shoulder, and over his head, you can see he's got both on his little coffee table in front of his couch and the little kitchenette area, on that table. It looks like he's got a bunch of like on the coffee table there's a lot of jewelry. On the kitchen table there's a lot of like jeweler's tools, like the little eyepiece, and some like adjustable lamps. It seems.
So you said jewelers, tools, lamps. That
And on-
jewelry.
And yeah, on the coffee table itself is a bunch of jewelry.
Hmm.
Seems like that would have been the sort of things a thief would have snatched up, but whatever. And you make it in your room without any trouble. All right. Now Leo hung out with a party. What did we have Leo doing?
I don't think we
That's a
had
good
him doing
question for me.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't think we had him doing
You had
anything.
Leo just go home.
That's right, because
he wanted to join Teak, but he didn't want to press the issue. So he kind of just said he'd go home and just let him know if he needed anything.
okay. So is there any so Patrick? Is there anything Leo would have done? Because you had Teak going to check with the orc mob. You had George going to check with the Brewers Guild. Michael ran up to see the police, but he didn't tell y'all what he was doing ahead of time. So the impression would have been that he was going home. Or back to his
Teak didn't
office.
actually say they were going to talk to the mob. Teak said he
Nope.
knew somebody that he was going
He
to
knew
talk
some
to.
contacts, and everyone assumed it. And he's like, I work in a garage. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Teak never actually said he was in the mob. So as far as
Nope.
the rest of us know,
Yep. The only one who
He's not in the
knows
mob.
is Salvador.
No, I know the murders have between the Orc Mob and the Brewers Guild.
Mm-hmm.
And have we determined any like nearby sites or
So
how they all died?
The orcs that were killed, it was right outside one of their storage facilities where they keep a lot of booze. The Brewers Guild, come to think of it, there were some dead Brewers Guild people too, wasn't there?
Yeah, didn't some of them? I think one of them was shotgun at close range. Were the other ones mauled by something?
Yes, I believe you're right.
And then the two Brewers Guild were just roughed up, but not killed outright. But they had a concussion, so weren't very useful.
That was it. They were. When the orcs discovered the dead, they started kind of scouting around the area, and they ran across some Brewer Guild guys that were there. A fight broke out, but the police showed up, so there were no fatalities.
And you may have already said this. I may have just missed it. The two orcs, were they shot? Just regular shot, or?
Well, like Sarah was saying, one of them was shotgunned in the head at close range.
But the other one was
from the angle of the shot, like a little bit above, because it's dwarf there. And then some of them seem to have
No, I was asking about how did the orcs die?
Oh. I think I was misremembering. I think it was just the dwarves that died.
Okay.
Well, no, because the orcs, something it's... Man, I'm having a real brain fart.
You're not the only one.
Because somebody...
Did Michael write it down?
No. I think it was the orc. Yeah, it was the orcs that died initially, and then the dwarves just got beat up.
Yeah.
But that's got both. That's got everybody going for their guns because they don't know what's going on. Okay.
So
yes, it was the orcs, shotgun to the head, one of them, and the other two, I think it was, were clawed up. It was all in the same location.
Do we know what happened to the bodies?
The police have them.
Okay, so that goes out of that question. Okay.
Michael had asked about the seeing the bodies, but they'd already been shipped off, I think, to a different facility. But him being the DA, the the precinct captain had promised to send him the information. I mean, him being the DA, he could get a hold of it eventually anyway, but the captain's going out of his way to get it to Michael just as soon as possible.
So the paper didn't really say anything about how they were killed, so that
Yeah.
No,
information wouldn't be
the
common
way the
knowledge.
paper talks is just, they literally just said a shootout.
Yeah.
So the mauling part is probably something the police have kept to themselves for the moment.
Varies
'Cause,
history.
Gangsters shooting each other, not a big deal. I mean, it's news, but it's not panic-inducing.
Yeah.
People getting clawed up, especially after you've had mythical monsters show up in your town last month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because I assume where the orcs were, where the attack actually happened, that's more in the orc neighborhood of places.
I think it was right outside one of the orc. Well, Teak would know this, but it was right outside of one of the orcs' warehouses.
Okay, so it's actually like in a industrial area, not like an actual like.
it's
civic
right.
area.
It's kind of right at the line
Okay.
where some of your residential stuff's kind of bleeding into more, industrial.
Because something tells me some of the orcs might be more interested in talking to another orc when they're asking around, so I'm going to try one of my lower skills, persuade, and see if that works out.
Okay.
I think just asking around.
All right.
I don't know if that works out.
So you'll go walk around that general neighborhood and be asking like just people in the area, not necessarily mobsters per se.
Yep. 25, so a success. I have a 30.
That'll work. All right, so you walk around, you're chit chatting with people about what happened. Specifically you're targeting other orcs because you figure they're even if they don't know you, they're probably more likely to talk to you. Talk to somebody else who's an orc. Oh yeah, let's see, how famous are y'all now?
Not very yet. We shot up a slaughterhouse.
Well,
yeah, but that was big news. But it doesn't mean you necessarily saw a whole lot of your pictures. There's probably like one group shot for the paper if y'all were willing to be photographed.
Well, 2 or 3 of us got carted off immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, my bones!
Oof! Oh, my bones.
Insides are trying to become outsides, and I don't like it.
So you talk to a few people that they've heard what went on, and a lot of them have just heard that there was a shoot up, and then they found some dwarves in the area. It's all very suspicious. They seem to be very quick to blame the ditch diggers. One guy claims to have heard a shotgun blast that day. Well, a big gunshot anyway. And let's see, 25. One person you talk to knows the person that found the bodies.
And can you describe what happened at all?
Well, that person, tells you,
Yeah, that's essentially what we got.
Well, the initial person tells you, oh yeah, I know the guy that found the bodies, and he directs you to a newsstand. tells you the guy's name. You go check the newsstand. That guy's there. So yeah, so he was closing up for the night. He heard a gunshot close by. Why he went to check it out instead of running away, he doesn't know. It was kind of dumb. His wife certainly was quick to tell him how dumb it was once he got home. But he tells you, he kind of crept there and looked down the alleyway. And he didn't get a good look. It was dark. But somebody was carrying a keg over their shoulder, running down the far end of the alleyway. He was huge. He had a keg in one arm, and then like a rifle or a shotgun or something in the other. But he was a real big guy. I couldn't make out a lot of other details of that, but he was big.
That does eliminate some people. And this is me asking, we're talking like, so Minotaurs and other kind of thing live here, correct?
Minotaurs
So
exist. You don't know of any in the city, but
okay. I'm just trying to get an idea about like bigger than orcs, because if an orc says they're big,
well, keep in mind orcs are not all that big in this setting.
yeah, that's true.
Them and elves are about the same height. Orcs just tend to be buffer, or at least, some of them are. You do have smaller orcs.
And he was carrying a keg, you said, on his shoulder.
Yep.
And a shotgun in the other. Was the shotgun to his size too?
He's yeah. Yeah, a regular shotgun would probably look pretty small in his hand.
And you point me toward the alley where you saw him running down?
Oh, sure. And he takes you down. He takes you down half a block, and this is the alley here. I'm not sure if the police used police tape in the 20s or not.
To the Google.
To the Googles.
1960s.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually it would just be they just have officers going.
Yeah. So the scene is clear now.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure enough, the sun's up now. He just kind of walks over there and points. Yeah, it was down at that corner. I gotta, I can't leave.
Oh, sure.
Can't leave the.
Oh, sure.
The
Head on back. Thank you, sir.
And if you walk down, you can kind of see where the, where the gun blast was. There's still some blood on the ground.
And the direction of the shot, was it actually aimed downwards?
Let's see. I'm trying to see what you could figure out. Let me pull up your sheet, or a sheet.
All right.
Oh,
hang on 1 second. Drop my dice.
No problem.
And I'm back.
All right. I don't know if it would be spot.
Now there's spot.
That's more for noticing. You're trying to figure out shot patterns and stuff.
Yeah, so
Give me an ideal roll. which is the one
Okay.
next to your intelligence. And give it to me at difficult.
Let's
'Cause
see.
This sort of forensics isn't something you're likely to have been trained on.
Yeah, I'm gonna try difficult. I'm actually gonna try to use the regular thing for this for the idea roll. Difficult. I have no idea if that worked or not.
You got a 20 success with intelligence.
Oh, wow.
Oh, quite good. So you look at the spray pattern, of the pellets. And yeah, this shot would have been coming up, he must have
It's
been
almost
right
like
up
it
on
was
the guy.
It almost feels like it was execution style, but so it was pointed downwards.
Yeah, for somebody your size to do this to another orc, they'd have to be like on their knees. And you weren't able to really get out of the news guy, the newspaper salesman.
Yeah.
Exactly how big was big, but like, unusually large. Yeah. Well, carry a keg on a shoulder large. And you can see where there's a door into this warehouse that's the side door is like damaged. Like it had been kicked in or something. It doesn't look like anybody's really bothered to fix it. It has been pushed too, but nobody seems to have really bothered to fix it.
Interesting. I don't know if I can do this or not.
What is it you're thinking about doing?
Okay, there actually is a track roll. I was looking at that, or at least... Or this would be more navigate. Still about the same odds for me.
But if you're trying to follow somebody, that's not navigate, that's track.
Okay, track, okay. Now this... Which way... Yeah, I'm gonna at least try to get an idea about at least the direction this guy was running. Because he said he saw him running down this alleyway,
Yeah, and around the
but where
corner.
does this alleyway lead?
Alright, give me a roll.
Yeah, that was a shot on the dark. So that's a no.
Okay.
Not a critical failure, but I just don't find anything.
Yeah. Because, it's all paved through here, so...
Yeah.
But okay, so you've checked out the crime scene.
And... Did they find any shotgun shells? Because if it's a gun's that big... Or did they actually just...
You'd have to get the police report to...
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
alright. At least I've got a lead.
Alright, so, you spend most of the afternoon, early evening doing that. Eventually, you head back to your place.
Yep.
Let's see. Michael and Vivian leaving the police. Was there anything else y'all did? Or was that about where we stopped with y'all?
It's about where you stopped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Figured they'd probably go do their various things for the evening.
All right.
Yeah.
Then my only other question before we reconvene at Violet's Diner. George, where are you staying? Do you drive all the way back out to your farm and then come back in the morning? Or do you find somewhere to stay here in town?
That's a very good question. I'd would oh, what's her name? Auntie?
Auntie Jen, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Would she potentially offer room and board for him so he doesn't have to drive back out? I mean, he'd happily drive back to her place and ask, personally, if he needed to.
Okay, you drive back. The housekeeper answers the door. No, Mr. Stone. I assume you need to talk to Miss Jen. Please come in while I go check.
If you wouldn't mind. Thank you kindly.
Now, do you just flat out go, can I stay here for the night? Or do you ask if she knows anywhere you could stay for the night? Are you subtle about it?
He would be more subtle and just like politely ask her, like, do you know of anywhere, or is there any particular thing I can do, or besides driving all the way back home?
So yeah. The housekeeper is looking at you like she knows what you're doing. Auntie Jen either doesn't glom onto it or just doesn't care. She insists that you stay in her guest room for the evening. If you're gonna be coming to town often, you probably need to find somewhere to stay regularly. But she knows, when you came into town today, you were not expecting all of this to happen. So she gestures to her maid. She'll be happy to set up the guest room. Yes, ma'am.
This dwarf profusely thanks her in order to, granted, gas is not a whole lot in terms of price yet, but saves him the trouble of having to fill that jalopy of a truck back up after every couple runs. It's like, yes, time to burn my earnings to keep this thing filled.
All right, so the next morning, Vivian, you wake up, you smell breakfast cooking.
That's marvelous. Lilac, what are you doing?
Scrambling eggs.
I'll get coffee started.
Give me as you start fixing the coffee, Lilac doing her thing. Give me a spot.
Success.
You notice that Lilac seems a little tense.
The eggs fighting back? You all right?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Totally fine.
Look of doubt.
Press X to doubt.
Don't give me that look.
I'll give you that look. We've known each other long enough for me to give you that look.
Yeah, yesterday was just a bad day.
Oh, anything you want to talk about or I should know about?
Just work.
Does she know what Lilac does for work? Or does Lilac just keep it kind of vague?
Lilac's very vague. She just sort of does odd jobs for people. Though sometimes she does not pay her part of the rent in cash. Most of the time she does, but every now and then it's just here's a piece of jewelry.
I love her.
Oh yeah, it's totally been in my family, and it's clearly too big for her to wear.
This isn't a ring; it's a belt. It's a belt.
I don't know if fairies are quite that small. Though Lilac is on the smaller side.
Bracelet, maybe.
Yeah, she thought she just thought she'd found a good job, but
I mean, if you want, I can talk to some folks, see about maybe getting you a job. I mean, if you have something in mind, or...
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's just
Are
I'm
you
just
sure?
I'm just in a funk because yesterday didn't go well.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have to go probably play peacemaker with a bunch of children.
Ugh, that sounds horrible. What are you doing?
Yeah, they're full-grown children.
Oh. Oh, is it your new hero buddies?
Heroes is stretching it.
What's what they're supposed to be?
I doubt it. They say heroes, but I really doubt it's that glamorous, like many things.
Oh, nobody said it was glamorous. Well, I mean, I guess the. Let's see. This is before they really had the pulp magazines, but it's a little after they had the Penny Dreadfuls.
The stories make it sound a lot more appealing.
That's fair. So she's, while you're eating breakfast, she's quizzing you on, on who all, just own these people.
Oh
And
yeah,
when did she get to meet them?
tell them. I mean, if you want to tag along, more than welcome to. I don't think any of them would mind. Or I can just give you the information later if you want.
She doesn't have anything to do today. Y'all not going to be like fighting monsters again, are you?
As far as I'm aware, it's just brunch. Over at Violet's.
She looks down at the egg she was in the process of grabbing.
We can have double eggs or maybe pancakes. Maybe they have cake early this morning.
Yeah, maybe. Don't want the eggs go to waste.
I'm still going to eat the eggs.
So
Make
y'all eat breakfast before you go to eat your brunch.
Yeah.
She just doesn't.
Pre-game the breakfast.
Y'all just don't fry up any sausage or anything. Nothing to go with the eggs. Just the eggs and coffee.
Just eggs, coffee, and conversation.
And salt.
Salt, pepper.
All right. Salvador. As you were leaving, you're leaving your apartment. You shut the door. You hear a voice behind you, a man's voice behind you. Mr. Salvador. Just a reminder that the rent is due tomorrow.
Pulls it out in cash, hands it to her.
Oh no, this is a male. You've never seen this guy before.
Oh, okay. Then he says he makes sure his pistol is strapped tightly to his chest, turns around.
And you see this fella here. You recognize Myrtle's rolling pin.
That's not yours.
But I regret to inform you it's the bonking hour.
Oh no, this belongs to Myrtle. Oh, he tucks it under his arm, holds his hand out, shaking it. I'm Abraham Penrose. I'm Myrtle's brother. She's feeling a bit under the weather today, but she asked me if I could hassle everyone for their rent. So if she asks you, you've been hassled.
Are you collecting right now? Because I can just hand it to you right now. I've got it.
Oh, sure. He digs out a receipt book.
Yeah. Just puts it. He will pay it. He will make sure he has a copy. Can I get a copy of that receipt?
Oh, absolutely. It's got the whole carbon thing.
Give it.
In fact, you see, we got his name on the front. Apparently, he's part of an accounting firm.
Sure. Do I recognize the company that he's accounting for?
Not really. It's just
okay. Just every last name and last name company.
It's Alberson and Penrose. I didn't mean to make you do that. It's honestly not really you. I think that Myrtle worries about.
Yeah,
I help her with her book, so I know you've paid on time every time. But we have a couple of tenants, or she has a couple of tenants that you have to stay on top of.
Is she gonna be? Do you reckon she'll be up by the morning, or does she just?
If not
Getting a late
tomorrow,
start?
hopefully the next day. Yeah, I think it's just a cold.
Okay. Well. All right then.
It was very pleased to meet you.
Of course. You as well. He nods his head.
And he goes on down.
Kind of like
you
goes
know,
like this with his coat.
He flutters on down to the next door past yours, knocks on the door.
Just slapping it with the rolling pin.
No, he's not going to damage his sister's door.
That's fair.
He'll have no fury and all that.
Yeah.
I just had these doors painted.
You chipped the paint? That's very expensive lead paint.
You know how much
Lick
that
it.
asbestos is worth?
Lick it. You see how sweet it tastes? It's worth money, man.
And then he'll leave and he'll walk over to the diner.
All right, I'm assuming Teak drives.
Yo.
I'm
No new
good to
NPCs
drive.
no new NPCs to introduce with you, Teak.
That's fine. I met a few last
Yeah. Let's see. Leo. Anything? Let's see. As you're leaving. Actually, does Leo drive or does he walk? Does he have a vehicle?
I actually don't have the driving skill, but I think I actually
Probably
just 'cause I
best.
don't
Probably best that you don't have a
have
car
it.
then.
Well, the thing is with the driving skill is you don't need to use the skill just to drive on the street normally. The rolling the skill is required for
is
like
for
basically stunt
Getaways.
driving
maneuvers, yeah.
or maneuvers.
Yeah.
Doing what I do.
Yeah, doing what Teak does.
So he will actually have like a. He will have like a. Polo's like a surplus truck that he uses.
Okay. So he bought some military surplus.
Yep.
I don't know if they had special built ambulances for the military in World War I.
They
or if
really
it was
didn't.
just
It was
trucks
just
that they enclosed.
that's essentially really what most. The first like purpose-built ambulances really didn't come until like very late.
Oh.
Because that's why a lot of station wagons were
That's fair.
ambulances for a while too. So
Leo may have bought this surplus specifically because he'd already had experience driving what was essentially the same vehicle.
yeah.
Okay, so you head over. Let's see. George, you get up. The housekeeper offers you breakfast, but you're leaving for brunch. Unless George is the sort of guy that would eat 2 meals.
He would probably just take a coffee, if nothing else. If
Okay.
it was offered. If nothing else,
Yeah. Well, the maid
just
offers you
wouldn't
a
waste
breakfast period, so you just go, Joe, just coffee, please. I'm headed to brunch. Then that's all she'll get you. Auntie Jen is not up yet. The maid, in chit chatting with you, mentions that she tends to stay up late and then sleep late. This late in life, she's not worried too much about the healthy, wealthy, and wise that comes from going to bed early. Charlie.
Fair enough.
As you're leaving, you can just as you pass by Dutton's door, you just can't make out two people having a conversation. You know, you can't tell exactly what they're saying, but you recognize Dutton's voice. And then there's somebody else who sounds kind of agitated. You know, probably another guy, but not one you recognize.
Okay.
Do you pass on by? Do you eavesdrop?
I'll try to do a quick listen. I'll kind of slow walk as I'm.
Don't drop no eaves, sir.
So you don't necessarily just stop and press your ear up against the door, but you just drift over
No.
kind of close while you're walking by.
Yeah. Failed. Probably don't hear anything.
All right, and that would have been a listen. Yeah. All right, not a critical failure or anything. Yeah, the only words you make out is the agitated guy going, "Have my hides." It's like the only words you really make out. He's clearly not happy about something, or he's worried he'll get in trouble for something.
Okay.
And Dutton just sounds like he's just making calming noises, or just saying things to try to calm the guy down. But yeah, that's really all you catch as you walk by. Michael, what is your morning routine?
Gonna get up. He's fairly certain this is gonna be one of those days. So he brews the good coffee. And by good coffee, I mean the Cuban blend. Good
The
coffee.
imported stuff.
Oh, I thought maybe he meant he Irishes it up or something. Okay.
No, it's
it's the coffee that is done in Africa. That's like from the cat's poop that they filter
No.
out.
I mean that apparently is good stuff.
It's that Cuban stuff that will keep you up for a while. Very
A
concentrated.
cafecita.
Un cafecito. Yes. He just whole pot of that.
Turkish dark mystic pack.
Grabs a thermos, and yes, I did look it up. Those were around then.
Oh yeah, thermoses go back a while.
Just whole thing into the thermos.
It just keeps pouring. I don't understand.
Yeah. He will leave a message for Dorothy to go to the office and just do her usual day-to-day work, and that he'll be by later. But he has a early morning meeting to attend.
All right.
After that, yeah, he'll drive there.
Okay. Have I gone around it? Yeah, I've gone around it. All right. So y'all all convene.
I still don't know what kind of car he has, but he has one.
It's a fancy one.
It's a Model M.
I have to look this up now.
Terrible joke.
Your joke's bad and you should feel bad.
I don't. Teek's a mobster. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He's an ex-mobster.
He is. He is an ex.
He thinks he's
He doesn't
out.
care anymore.
I think Nash's were nice cars. Anyway. So yeah, y'all all eventually, y'all all make your way to the diner. Some of you walk in, some of you pull in, and you recognize some of the other,
An
Like
Auburn
George's truck.
Speedster, or Auburn Boattail Speedster.
So you walk in, lady behind the counters, refilling on customers' coffee. Oh, just take a seat anywhere.
Mhm.
I assume y'all all kind of bunch up. So do you take like two booths next to each other, or do you push a couple of tables together?
I'd say the two tables, because there's a lot of us. Or do they have, like, the big table free? Some places will have that big circular table, depending on, like... Or if this is more traditional style diner, that wouldn't be the case. Never mind.
Probably 2 tables.
So y'all push a couple tables together. Lady comes by, takes your order.
Tika's in the booster seat.
Do you want some crayons?
Probably a little early for that.
I won't say no to that.
You know what? Yeah, Sarah, it's gonna be that.
But you do all notice that Vivian brought a friend.
Yeah, so she introduced Lilac.
Big waves.
Good morning. Oh, nice.
So yeah, so she, you say that, she introduced herself, she's Lilac, Morning Dew.
Is it 1920 or 1925?
It's 25.
25? Cool. Okay.
We started in 1924.
Yeah, that's right.
New Year's Eve.
So copy image. Sarah already did it. Never mind.
So
I just wanted to check the date to see if he would have that car.
I assume everybody goes around introducing themselves then. To Lilac.
Yep.
Yes.
Hello. What does Lilac look like?
Oh, I do have a picture for Lilac.
Oh.
Yay.
Yeah, she doesn't have her hood pulled up yet. Because it's not.
Wait, where?
I'm not seeing anything.
I'm seeing an Abraham Penrose.
I've already. Well, you can close that one.
There's a mysterious fairy, but
Now you can close that one. Well, I've hit show all players. It should be showing you.
Oh no,
I
not
can
again.
see it.
No. Yeah,
wait, you said you can or you can't?
I can see it.
I keep hitting show to show the players, and it keeps just saying share with thee.
She's just mine.
Clearly she is. Let me
all
change that
players
to
at the top.
all
That's
players.
There you go.
There we go.
Hey.
I roll 20, and I pay for this.
She looks like a very pleasant individual.
Totally not a criminal.
She seems to be happy to be there.
She definitely doesn't wear a mask in her off time.
Definitely doesn't.
Michael does order a rather large breakfast, but
question:
he just has a thermos with his.
Did Charlie catch the ferry that flew by her yesterday? Like any kind
You
of
could tell she was wearing a mask.
That's just racist.
And when she zipped past you, she sort of rotated her body, so you didn't get a good look at her face.
Okay.
Give me an insight roll if you want to.
Sure.
I will be right back.
Special.
It's almost a crit.
Okay.
02.
2 Brute. And 2 Lilac.
First time I bring my friend out to introduce her to my other friends.
And we immediately find out she's a.
Oh, you don't find anything. She actually got a crit.
Oh, nice. You know nothing. Good day.
I know nothing. Damn.
She seems perfectly pleased to meet you all. Nothing suspicious in how she acts. You do note that she is that she's about the same size. She got kind of the same build. Hair's about the same color. But
So I guess
there's no
I get
special
it.
recognition in her face. When you introduce yourself, she doesn't react like there's any recognition. She doesn't act nervous or
happened to my
anything.
character sheet? That's weird.
She's old hatted.
Okay. So a special is a critical fail?
No, a special is
No.
is so it goes crit, special, normal, failure, fumble.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you were doing a contested roll. You got a special. Lilac got a crit.
Yeah, Lilac rolled an 02.
Gotcha.
Meaning she beat you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think D&D contested roll. She won.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Like I said, you pick up on the stuff about her physical size and any physical similarities she might have had to this mysterious other fairy. But so Lilac. Well, I guess V would have probably filled Lilac in on what y'all were investigating.
Yeah, she would have told him on the walk over eggs.
So she's super interested in how y'all plan on stopping a gang war.
And so am I, but
All right. So over the course of breakfast, I assume everybody fills everybody in. We won't go back through it again
Yes,
because everybody was sitting here.
I actually go in to explain how we actually had an eyewitness, and apparently, whoever shot the orc was larger than the orc. It was an abnormally large man.
Michael and V, I believe the police had mentioned something like that too. Not necessarily that it was abnormally big, but that the shot seemed to come from a little bit above.
Yeah.
that the one guy was mauled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael takes a sip and like, yeah, that tracks. The report stated that the person who did shoot them, the shot seemed to come from above.
And I also mentioned the smashed door, and apparently was running away with what looked like a barrel or a keg on his or her shoulder.
Probably just booze running.
Now, Carr, you specifically not mentioned. Wait. So, how much does Teak tell them? Does he mention who he
He
talked
tells
to?
them everything except for mentioning anything about like being paid off. He just basically gives them a rundown of the few contacts that I have. They basically told me that they think it might be like them trying to set them up kind of thing, and they'd be willing to see if we could talk to both parties and see if maybe we can barter a truce or something between them before anything broke out. So nothing about being paid, but definitely about just trying to stop it before it happens.
Honestly, I think it's a third party. For the maulings, it doesn't seem like something either one would do. They would just shoot somebody, not maul them.
That's what I think too.
And I also asked Michael, have you got any? Are you still waiting? Yes, right. You said you were waiting for the police report, correct? Or do you work with the DA office?
Well, I am waiting on the report, but I'm also going to go and do some digging of my own in the DA's office. See what records I can find.
I ask, check to see if they found any spent shotgun shells at the scene. Because by the witnesses' accounts, the shotgun was sized to the individual, so it would be abnormally large.
Hmm.
Something like that would have to be custom made.
Well, I suppose we'll see. He looks at his thermos and just looks like I'm going to be awake for a while anyway.
And we have somebody in the chat. Welcome to the chat.
Yes,
hello.
Good evening.
It was the first time chat.
Hey,
Woohoo!
Hello, hello.
Oh, hello, hello.
welcome to the madness.
And I actually noticed this one as soon as it popped up.
Hey.
Not one of those where I might be 15 or 20 minutes late noticing.
Do we
Oh,
have
welcome.
any? Good.
No, that was me talking to Twitch.
Do we have anything to go on with maybe what attacked? Or are we waiting for the looking over at Michael? Are we waiting on the report and photos from that? Did the eyewitness say anything about seeing anything other than the giant gun wielding figure?
Oh, he did not. That's all. Basically, all he saw. He heard the shot. He heard the shot. He ran over and looked. Saw that guy running away. Saw the bodies and went and reported.
Could it be a brew? Because some of them got away.
The Brute are really rather large when they want to be.
Well, that one you saw was rather large.
They run
Most
the
of
gamut
them,
of
most of
sizes.
them were relatively human-sized. They were only a lot taller than a human if you counted all the horn on the ones where the horns went straight in.
Just trying to figure out what third party could want. What party would benefit from the dwarves and the orcs going at each other?
The forces of chaos. It's in the name.
Hmm. Yes.
Or
I mean, could be to weaken both.
Yeah.
Because if something's coming, you want as many people as weak as possible so they could fight back. Right?
Does sound
Shoves a
logical.
pancake. Shoves a pancake into mouth.
Entire pancake folded in like half.
He's made a pancake burrito.
Lilac is also eating
Early
pancakes.
breakfast. Early breakfast burritos. Would having representatives from both sides be something feasible? Having them meet at a neutral location.
We need a neutral location.
I'm going to go look at the office upstairs, see about renting it.
Good work.
It's the point of getting them both in the same room where they don't shoot each other is the problem.
Oh, yes.
Well, that and just
It-
having me in the room might also be a problem.
We have scant time before the bosses start doing
I'm
stuff.
aware. Just making sure you all are also aware that while I haven't had many interactions with the dwarves of their particular ilk, the orcs, on the other hand, I have had many a run-in with, and none of them good.
Leo raises an eyebrow to that.
What?
No, I'm just curious in what way.
I mean, he's a lawyer, right?
I'm a prosecuting attorney. I have put
Sticky.
many of them away.
Sticky means the mob, buddy. Not you. I'm not going to speak for the man, but that's just what I
Well,
meant.
that and there have been some that have taken offense to my job and what I do.
Vivian,
And
you get a little nudge on your arm. Lila's looking up at you. And she's like mouthing, lawyer Michael. The Michael? Oh.
Just quietly, just rubbing the bridge of her nose. Regardless, someone else could act as third party. I mean, neither one of them, as far as I'm aware, have any strong feelings at me or at Salvador. At
Great at
Charlie.
mediating.
Lilac sitting there sipping her coffee. Yeah, strong feelings.
Very, very quiet and in Elvish. I will drown you in this coffee mug.
That'd be very embarrassing for you to do in front of Michael.
He's straightforwardly ignoring Lilac right now.
I'll say, Michael, who responds in Elven, that'd also be very unhygienic for the coffee.
I'll go see about getting the office.
He learned Elvish.
I will go see about renting the office. And we can see about...
And installing a bug zapper.
While they're doing this, Tika's going to look around and just like nonchalantly just look and see if anybody's listening to him.
Give me a spot.
Get in on that.
Failure.
Nah, nobody's listening.
Nah.
Though that one waitress keeps looking over here.
Vivian would get on, but she's clearly distracted right now.
May I get in on that?
Yeah,
Just to
you can
roll something for the first time tonight.
Yeah. Tika's just distracted by the pretty fairy. It's fine.
No, that's fair. Everybody can roll. Everybody can in the room can roll spot.
Sure.
That's not in the box.
Hey.
Success. Not success.
Sure. Let me find my
Success.
spot mechanic.
Is it spot or listen? Or yeah, it would be spot.
It'd be spot.
Okay.
You're looking to see if anybody's paying attention to you.
I've
already rolled it once, so let's go again.
Actually, hold on.
It's them giant ears.
No, it didn't change. All right.
Failed.
Oh, I guess I failed, huh?
So, Rappy and
I think I'm,
Michael and Charlie.
Michael.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right,
Michael and Charlie.
So you two be sure to check your spot.
Have done.
And yeah.
Well, that's right. We gotta check things.
If you succeed, yes, to roll.
Anytime you succeed on
level
a
up.
roll.
Okay, I gotta go back through mine. So the insight, it's special, but I didn't beat it, so that's not a.
But you did successfully make the roll.
Okay, so insight.
Whether you pass or fail a success, you still check it.
And then this is my second spot success, though.
You can only roll once.
Multiples do not matter. Multiples do not matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave it checked.
Okay.
So Michael and Charlie, you're glancing around. Nobody's paying attention to you. Yeah, the waitress keeps looking over here, but she's literally making sure she doesn't need to come over and top off anybody's coffee, or they don't need anything.
Fair enough.
The rest of you really aren't sure. Yeah, the waitress looking over here, but is that really suspicious or not?
Don't be suspicious.
Gotcha.
Don't be suspicious.
Well, I guess it boils down to, do you want me there just so all of us are together as a more united front or not?
I mean, the news has probably gotten around to the strange folk that you're part of this group anyway.
Yeah, the lone human.
I mean, So was the last
Teek's a
one.
lone kobold.
So was the last
Teek's a
one.
lone kobold.
Yeah,
George is
You
a lone
are
dwarf.
I'm the lone
you
orc.
are putting a lot of stock into being the lone human.
Well, it's certainly been pointed out enough times.
That's
I've
true.
never pointed it out.
Mostly anti-gen, but
No.
I think it just might be anti-gen.
And
All
Salvador.
I'm saying is, all I'm saying, at least in this moment, is that you are. It's. I don't think it's going to be as much of a hindrance as you think it is, except for in the case of with these people you have brought low to justice.
That is my job.
It sure is.
Teek may be able to, if Teek extends the invitation, gauge how well they would respond. But having someone that is also within a greater representation of the law may be beneficial.
I mean,
Well,
Or we can have a door cracked and be next door or something.
I'll be there. Never shied away from a challenge before. Won't do it now.
And we try
I just don't
to
think it's going to be as big a challenge as you think it is. That's all.
see
Prepare for
about
the worst.
getting the information.
I just have this thing that he looks at Deke when this happens. I was like, nope.
We see about getting the complete report, see if any photos are available, reach out to both leaders, and see about setting up a parlay. They're both, from what you say, aware that it may be a third party.
Well,
It's better
I mean,
to.
I know only about one side. I don't know about the other.
Did the dwarves say? Did George say if the dwarves said that they thought it might have been a third party?
Doob.
Well, I was trying to think back. I was like, I don't know if George actually asked the question if it was a setup or
I don't think it came up in your conversation with
N-
No,
no.
I don't think
It
so.
didn't come up in the conversation. George probably suspects that there is a potential third party because currently the evidence presented to him didn't make sense of. Well, yeah, they've had scuffs before, but they haven't full blown murder each other for just peeking on or peeking in on each other and seeing what they're doing. Yeah, a fight or two will happen, but like there's been full blown murder at this point on
If
both counts.
if they're gonna fight, they're gonna try and keep it out of the eyes of the law more than draw attention.
Exactly. they they're doing shady deals. They're not out there to let themselves be known that yeah, shady deal over here, guys.
Hey, I'm murdering a guy.
Well, on that note, as he'll finish breakfast, and it's like, so what is our plan? I'm going by the DA's office.
Any
Well,
What about the rest
information?
of you?
We can't really do anything until we know that we have the place rented.
I'll go look into that. We can always find an alternate location if need be.
Well, should it come up, you can use a little bit of leverage with these two groups. The police department has stated if this does escalate, they will marshal.
Too. I'd like.
So if they wish to keep things calm, they need to get this handled. Otherwise, my other job will get involved. which won't end well for any of them.
Clapping your hands together. Well, I'm gonna go see if I can find who owns this building and rent the office.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with you.
Lilac, would you like to come along?
That got dour
Oh,
for
sure.
no reason. He's Salvador stands up.
It was nice to meet you, Michael. Oh, and everybody else.
Nice to meet you too, Lilac.
You are walking
Pleasure.
alongside me, so we haven't left yet.
George just smiles as he sips his coffee.
She's
Kind of
going
does a
to
little wave.
throw this sprite through a window.
You know what? Tico go with him.
All right,
Tico
where y'all
go
going?
with.
Vivian will ask the waitress, do you happen to know who's in charge of renting the offices above you all?
Hmm. Hang on a second. Let me step back and ask. I'm blanking on the company name. Yeah, she steps to the bag and talks to whoever's in charge. I guess whoever's back in
Penrose.
the office. No. Myrtle owns that one apartment building that she also lives in.
But the brother.
He's an accountant.
Got properties.
But she comes back out with a business card. Oh yeah, it turns out
Thank
the
you. Thank
manager
you.
had an extra one of these. So.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
Takes it. And if it has a phone number, she will find somewhere with a phone. Or if it has a street address or office address, she will head that direction.
It has both.
It probably has a phone number, yeah.
She
H&H Apartments.
She will find a phone and make a phone call.
So this is one of the
I'm saying the
old-fashioned
diner probably
phones.
has
You have
a
the little thing hanging on the side that you pick up just for your ear, and you have to lean forward and talk into it.
Yeah.
Talk to the switchboard.
Yeah, switchboards are probably still a thing.
Oh no, they were a thing for like a while.
How can I direct your call?
Yeah, literally until one switchboard lady pissed this dude off, and he invented something that stopped her job from being a thing.
I mean,
Yes, the ultimate spite. Yes, you
She
decide
was
to piss me
everybody
off. I
trying
will
to call
remove
his
you from
business.
the job.
She was directing to her husband's business. They were in the same business.
Oh.
So I can't remember what it was exactly. It wasn't plumbing or anything, but it'd be like if you were a plumber and this chick, every call she gets specifically asking for you, she sends to her husband's plumber place instead.
Yeah, I can see how he got pissed off and fixed that real quick.
and more than likely, both mobs have their own switchboard person.
Yeah.
Because it's like secret conversations. Got to have someone on payroll.
Mm-hmm.
Well, keep in mind, mobsters in this time period would walk down the street talking about who they wanted to whack.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because most people just were not going to get involved. And there wasn't a whole lot of, video cameras or even recordings.
Who's getting cement shoes today?
Gotta go measure them for some. And she'll ask for whoever's in charge of doing the rentals.
That'd be a twisted one. Get the shoe shine boys hired. How big are his shoes?
All right, so you find the payphone. This diner has a payphone for that matter. So you call. They tell you that they have a few units available.
I believe there's an office, and I know this sounds weird or sentimental maybe, but I'm part of the new group of the Bjorn, and we're looking to set up a location. I was wondering if Mickey's old office was available, or if it is still considered part of an active investigation.
All right, so even or odd that the person you're talking to is of the strange folk.
Even.
2. Oh yes, let me. It's a. Please talk to you. I haven't talked to anybody famous before.
Oh, I assure you, we're not very famous.
I don't know. You were in the paper.
Oh, there's plenty of folks in the paper.
Let me see. Okay, yeah, Mr. Monroe didn't pay in advance, so so when the rent came due the first this month, that doesn't mean it's technically free. I know the police had already gone through it. Let me check with the manager, or check with my boss, and make sure there's not still like an active something going on.
Of course, I could reach back out to you in a couple hours if you'd like.
Oh, that would be fine. That'd be fine. What
Okay,
was your name, Miss?
Vivian.
Okay, Vivian. She pauses like she's waiting on her last name.
Of Rosenberg.
Rosenberg. I forget, is that your real last name or the assumed last name?
That's her real one. It may or may not carry weight still, but...
I was going to say, Salvador here's Rosenberg. Does that ring any bells?
He's not from Abbey Shores, is he?
No, but just know if he knows any Elven
Teak
names.
is, so is there a history roll in there?
I wouldn't even say history per se. If you're from the city, just give me an ideal roll.
She probably gets side-eyed by Lilac, but
Oh,
No.
has she never told Lilac?
Lilac knew her maiden name, so...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Teak is spinning on like the little stool chair.
At the bar stool.
Yeah, and he's just spinning slowly. Thinks about the name, and then just keeps spinning.
Yeah,
so I'll file that away for later.
Nothing clicks,
just keep
really.
Spinning, just keep spinning.
It's just kind of like, oh, okay, now I know Vivian's last name. You realize it had never come up before.
Huh. I think Salvador will say that out loud. Like, I guess I never really did catch your last name, huh?
I've had a few.
My condolences.
Just general noise of disgust.
Oh dear, was it the flu?
All right, and Michael was headed back to the...
He was going to the DA's office.
Okay. So not his particular office, the DA's office. As you are going in, there is a woman coming out who gives a little start when she sees you. It's kind of like, oh. And then, Mr. Anderson.
Yes?
What good timing.
Your rent is due.
She holds out her hand to you.
I'm your hitman telegram.
Good day, Mr. Anderson. Bang.
Could you have at least been a singing one? Okay, I am your singing hitman. Bang.
Anyway, so she says, she introduced herself as Rila Corona.
Rila Corona.
Pleasure, ma'am.
Have we encountered that name before?
We have.
Yes. Yeah. Honor of the butcher.
Yep, her family owned the butcher shop, or the slaughterhouse that was shut down. Her brother's body was one of the ones you found in the slaughterhouse.
Yep.
Her family has a recent history of tragedy. In fact, it's gotten down to the point that she's the last of them.
Last of the Coronas.
She is
Last
the
of the
one who
Abbey
makes
Shore
the
Crows,
beer.
at least.
Uh,
Is there something I can help you with?
I know you were involved at the slaughterhouse, where my brother died. I was here checking about when some of his personal belongings will be returned to me. Can can you? I know this is an active investigation, but then you're not police. But some of the people I've spoken to in law enforcement seem to think my brother might have been involved in some way other than just as a victim.
Was there evidence of that we had found?
Most everybody there of the bodies you found were poorer people, strange folk, people from the worst part of town. Crap, what was the brother's name? The brother, whichever it was.
Yeah. The fact that because the brother was still
Reggie.
in like obviously nice clothes.
Right. It was like him and like two other guys that were in like clothing that was out of place. But she really just wants to know if since you were there, since you discovered, is there any reason to think Reggie might have been up to, might have gotten involved in something untoward?
You do understand this is an active investigation.
Yes, and the police are limited on what they can tell me. I'm not asking you to tell me something out of the police files, just what you saw yourself while you were there as a private citizen. She kind of puts a hand on kind of on your, kind of on your shoulder, kind of in a pleading manner. Please, I need to know what exactly happened to my brother.
He did not appear to be the usual suspect that had been brought into it.
What?
Vague.
A large majority of the bodies we found were those of the poorer districts. The downtrodden, those without really any place to go to. Your brother and two others were not.
I see.
Anything else would be up to further investigation.
Mm-hmm. Well, our family does own the property. Maybe he caught wind that something weird was going on and went to check it out himself. I know that detective had managed to track the goings on down some sort of way.
Michael sitting here, holding back something else that he knows. That I have written down in his memories, but because
what's
active
that?
investigation, he can't say anything. Reggie was the one that had the ritual knife. So,
so the honest answer would be yes, there is reason to suspect.
Which is effectively what he said, while still adhering to he can't talk about the details of an active investigation. So he truthfully said what he was allowed to say.
So she's sitting there, just sort of lowers her head. You hear a sniff or two. Can't fetch that her little handkerchief.
I apologize if that's distressing to hear. I'm just not in the habit of lying to others.
Oh no, and I came here seeking the truth. Reggie had well, he'd been acting a little strange the last year or so. Just a little withdrawn.
I do know there has been a lot of misfortune involving your family as of late.
Yes, we've had our fair share of sorrow.
Do you think, or was your brother the kind of person that might reach out to more esoteric means to try to restore your family?
He always had an interest in things that the strange folk could do.
I see.
I've gone. He had moved out of the family home. Six months ago or so. But he'd left a lot of stuff behind, and I've gone through his personal effects, trying to find clues. And there's plenty of scholarly books on uh, uh, on the magic the strange folk can do. But I mean, nothing horrific. It's just uh, mostly from human authors. But I was wondering if I know the police have gone through Reggie's apartment here in the city, and I was well, that's what they wouldn't tell me, was if they had found anything in his belongings. It's also why I was here today, checking to see when his property would be released to me.
What I can say is the property will be released to you once the investigation is complete, however long that might take. I have no time frame to give you, unfortunately.
I understand. You just got to pat. Thank you for taking the time to tell me what you could. I won't take up any more of your time.
If there's anything of his or any other things you can think of that might help or maybe answer any questions that might revolve around your brother, do feel free to speak to the police department or to someone here at the office. Any bit of information that we can acquire will help.
What do you have a number that I could reach you at?
Yes, he'll pull out business card for his own personal law firm.
Oh, thank you. She takes out a little notepad and writes her number. This is the phone at the house. If I'm not there, one of the servants can take a message. I know you're associated with the that group of strange folks that we're helping to investigate.
I am, yes.
Oh, do you think any of them might have picked up anything else at the warehouse? Given it's more their culture than yours or mine.
There was some evidence of the occult, yes.
Do you think I could speak to them at some point?
I can pass on a message, and we will see.
Feel free to give them the phone number if they think they need it.
I can at least say I can do that.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. And then she makes her way the rest of the way down the steps. A car is already pulled up. There's already a dude out opening the door to let her in. Old money family.
and then he'll go into the office to go find those files.
Sure enough, there are files waiting on your desk.
Mm-hmm.
That the precinct captain has sent over to you.
And he will be digging through those. Basically, I don't know what you want me to make. He's basically going to be digging through it to see if he can find any. well, first, like what he had requested originally was about the gang thing. So he's going to be digging through there to see like there's any correlations. See what stuff might match up to what he learned from the others.
Well, you've got materials to research, and there is a research roll that can be
There
made.
is a research roll.
So give me a research.
We shall see if this works.
So you've got the information. Research will be how much can you parse out of it.
The stuff that I have high skills in, I keep failing. This would track.
So you're going through it, and there's just a ton of gang name, of names and this and that. And you're not really getting anything useful out of it. Maybe you're distracted. You just had a pretty woman crying on your shoulder. Maybe you're just distracted. Now, in addition to that, you also had the preliminary coroner's report on the bodies. Nothing too unexpected there. The coroner, well, not the coroner, but the crime scene investigators, they also noticed the the height thing and all that.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out if the guy could have been standing on something, but reports indicate there was nothing in the area. Because they seem to think it'd be taller than a person could be. And especially taller than, a dwarf would be. No, were you about to ask something when I started talking?
This might be a long shot, but could I utilize his eidetic memory power to see if I could potentially do a re-roll on the research if it succeeds? Basically, be able to like see all of the pages all at once and start connecting things, and maybe tie it into stuff from the past, like stuff that wouldn't be in this report in particular, but other like cases he's worked.
Quickly, into the veil.
Yeah, but research is... That's you've already got the information. That was you trying to sift through the information. The fact that you can still remember the information.
Okay.
If you come back on another day, maybe you can make another roll on it.
Alrighty.
You do have some autopsy pictures in there too.
I'll take a look at those.
Yeah, the shotgun wound. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. There's not a whole lot left of that head. And the claw marks. The report, the pictures. You're looking at the pictures of them, and the report talks about it being, the size of a bear, but it doesn't really match up with a bear's claws.
Okay.
They really just reference bear, a bear as the size comparison. Though they do note one arm had puncture marks.
Mhm.
Like it was grabbed by that clawed hand. And that body was reported to have been looked like flung over to one side after being injured.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. Vivian was handling. Vivian, Teak, and Salvador were doing the building thing.
Mhm.
So George, Charlie, and Leo, where are y'all going from brunch?
Was this another off day back to back, or was this I had the morning,
Yeah, this
afternoon
is
free, and
You've got the morning
yeah,
free.
this
okay.
I would actually like to wait to see if I can look at the report to get some ideas. Because essentially, I want to get information from the report that he has and then follow up with that.
Okay. So you spend your day doing whatever Leo does most of the time during
Yeah.
the day. What about old George? If you're talking, you're muted.
George would probably take some time to see if there's any potential places he might be able to rent or anywhere he can potentially work up being able to just stay every once in a while when he has to come to town. Some type of like some small office space or something that he could potentially use. Something of that caliber.
We just set him up inside Mickey's old office.
Put a
Uh,
fold-out couch or something.
I mean, he's a dwarf. He's used to sleeping on hard surfaces.
What's that? A Murphy bed, the one that folds down.
That'd be too soft. A Murphy slab. It's just a rock that falls down.
All right, so you're poking around doing that. Charlie, is there anything else that you wish to do during the morning?
Probably not. Probably just go back to where she stays and probably just start getting things ready before heading into work.
All right, so you start heading back. You're passing by one. You're stopped at a stoplight because you drove, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you stop at a stoplight. You hear the news. There's a newsie on the street corner. Shilling his papers. And it's extra, extra. Dwarves attacked. Is it orc payback? Extra, extra. And you can see the headline, on the paper he's waving around.
She probably would see about buying the paper
Okay.
to read that when she got back home.
So you whistle to get the kids' attention. You hold out the dime or whatever a newspaper costs at the time. And he runs over and hands it to you and takes the money. Thank you, ma'am. Kind of doffs his cap. And when you get home and you start looking over it, yeah, apparently these bodies were found this morning. Well, one body was found. One terribly injured person was found, who later died at the hospital. And there's somebody else missing. The injured person was mumbling about It took him. But they never really got anything else coherent out of him before he passed.
Mm.
Now, it does mention that it was your hospital he was taken to.
Okay. Well, she'll probably try to see what other information she can get when she gets in.
Okay. But let's see what else we get picked up from the newspaper. This attack would have been a bit south. Well, southwest. It's still kind of on that line of where the residential and more industrial area kind of mixes. But further down south, it's less work territory there, and more of a mishmash.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still relatively close by, like, multiple blocks away, but it's not really a whole another section of town. It's just a neighborhood or two away. Now, when you go into the hospital that evening, you mentioned something about trying to get information. What sort of information are you going for? Who are you going to ask?
I guess so he arrived to the hospital dead, or he died at the hospital?
He was still alive when they got him to the hospital, but he passed shortly thereafter.
Okay.
Apparently, it was the ambulance drivers that heard what he was saying.
They're probably not going to be there since they're drivers. She'll probably actually head to the morgue to see like what actually like killed him, or like something like that.
Okay.
Like what round, if they could figure that out or something.
All right. So you walk down to the morgue. I was blanking your last name. And you probably have to do your rounds as soon as you get there, but you do your initial rounds, and then you slip down. As soon as you have a moment, you slip down to the morgue. As you walk in, one of the morgue workers is like, "Oh, Dr. O'Brien. Oh man, what brings you down here into the cold?"
I'm just wondering if you have any information about the dwarf that was killed, that died here earlier today.
Oh, the one from the attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should have something. And he starts flipping. He goes to a file, starts flipping through some papers. Well, actually, the file probably was already laying out. But, yeah, he has a claw mark on his arm. That wasn't what killed him. Now, blunt force trauma to the back of the head. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't enough to kill him immediately, but I think the doctors are suspecting that the injury caused a blood clot. Might explain, if it was cutting off blood flow, that might explain why he was kind of delirious.
Do they know exactly what he was saying?
According to the reports here, he was just sort of mumbling incoherently when they brought him. You know, when the doctor started working on him. He gestures over to where he's got a newspaper sitting on the table. Now, the paper claims I've talked to the ambulance drivers that actually heard him putting words together. Come to think of it, now we wouldn't have that down here. You could probably check with the emergency room. They could probably look up which drivers brought him in. Why the interest? Why the interest, Doc? Were you one of the ones working on him?
How is she gonna say this?
You could just say she heard about it in the paper and was curious.
Yeah. Yeah, I was having brunch with a couple of friends, and on the way back, I heard about it in the paper. So I was just trying to, figure out what happened, and
Oh, okay. I understand. We're just waiting on the police to come by and pick up the body now. I think they're gonna have their own people do an autopsy. I don't know why they don't have us do it, but probably
that
somebody's got
is
the contract.
weird. Probably.
All right. Saying the rest of your day is taken up with the hospitaling.
Yeah.
Yep.
George, you drive around town. You're checking on places you could rent. Apartments are probably more than you'd want to pay on a regular basis. You find a couple of fairly inexpensive hotels where if you just needed a room for an evening, it'd probably be all right. Office space. If you needed something permanent, that would kind of work. So nothing conclusive. I mean, maybe you could ask some of the guys the next time y'all meet up. When are y'all planning to meet back up?
I don't think we had set that up.
No.
Well, we can reach out to each other. We've got each other's contact information now.
Yeah.
You just leave a message at Teek's garage.
Well, that kind of sucks for George. He only has one place of residence, and he's currently not at it.
He probably didn't have a phone out there either.
Call Michael's office.
But Vivian, the not contractor, realtor, gets back in touch with you. She tells you the office is available. The police are done with it. They haven't cleaned out all of the stuff. They haven't cleaned the place out yet. The police came in and took what they wanted. Most of the files and stuff. But like the furniture and a lot of the furniture and stuff is all still in there.
Okay.
They've also still got to have somebody come out and work on the door frame.
I'm sure I could find someone to work on the door frame if you don't mind.
Whoopsie.
My bad.
She does assure you that the damage to the door frame is just visual. It's not.
It's just superficial.
Yeah,
It's just
superficial.
cosmetic damage. Yeah.
She'll, if it's nothing crazy outrageous, she would go ahead and rent it.
Yeah, it's not. Mickey didn't have the kind of money to rent a really fancy office.
She will rent it and let the other folks know that it is rented. Reach out to them, leave notes where notes need to be
I was
left.
gonna say, I'll call Michael's office and just say, "Hey, meet us upstairs from where we were tomorrow," or leave that message for whoever, because I know he's not at his office at the moment.
Leave it with Dorothy.
Yeah, but that'd be Dorothy getting it.
And you can easily get a hold
If I
of Charlie at
recognize
the
that
hospital.
If I recognize it as Dorothy's voice, I'll say something in
Is it-
Elvish.
Is it like a one-room apartment kind of thing?
What was that? The
Or is
office?
The office?
Yeah, I guess it would be an office. I assume there would be like maybe a bathroom. I guess.
No,
Probably.
there's a bathroom out in the hallway. You have to
Yeah.
step out into the
Yeah.
hallway and go down to where there's a restroom.
Gotcha.
Probably a window, a door with a window, and maybe like a heating unit, I would assume.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like typical office furniture.
Yeah, the heating is a radiator up under the window.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's gonna cause a fire later.
Oh, we can only hope.
No. all the pipes and stuff are wrapped with asbestos. It's fine.
Asbestos, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'll be fine.
That's certainly better.
We're protected.
Yeah, it's modern technology and science.
Not gonna kill us in 20 years, 30
won't be
years,
here.
40 years.
She'll go about renting it and go home, change into clothes that won't get ruined when she starts cleaning it.
Salvador's already started cleaning it.
Yeah, she'll be like, if you want to come along, Lilac, you can come.
Oh, for cleaning. Yeah. Oh, I think I got something to do this evening.
I know. I'm sure your schedule's very busy this afternoon.
Lots of stealing. I mean, hearts. I mean, stealing. I mean,
I miss
No,
Lilac.
just go do some job hunting.
She's a fine, upstanding citizen.
Mm-hmm.
You wiped your nose, and I thought you were gonna put like a fake mustache.
That'd be a great trick.
So yeah, she
Declines.
she splits off from y'all when y'all are she's with you at the realtor when you sign the paperwork. The realtor, of course, offers to take you and show you the office, but you seem like you're already familiar with it, so you just show up at the office and do the paperwork. They hand you the keys, tell you when the rent's due, yada yada.
She'll pay it a couple months in advance, just so doesn't have to worry about it for a good month or two.
Oh, they're happy. They're happy to take it in advance.
And they're get a new sign made, Bjorn and Associates. So it looks like just a regular
Bjorns and
business unless
Bjorns.
you know.
Oh, she doesn't do anything with the door quite yet. We haven't all agreed on anything to put up there, and honestly, she'd probably just leave it as whatever the office number is.
Yeah,
but still has Vicky's name on it, doesn't it?
It had the office number, and then a small something underneath that was Monroe Detective Agency.
Yeah.
She'll eventually get that adjusted, but it's not immediate.
I will. If Salvador's there helping her clean, then he's going to take those letters and kind of memorialize them in a way. At least the detective agency bit.
Are they painted on the door? Or?
It is painted on the glass.
Antique, while he's helping clean, he's going to keep an eye out for anything that may have gone underneath a piece of furniture or anything that may be useful.
Okay, give me a.
I thought you were talking about like a rodent or something. I'm like,
no, I mean yes,
Chasing
that
a
too,
mouse.
but
snacks.
yeah, that's a sneaky snack. Hold my rat.
We go.
I guess it would just be Spot. I was thinking there might be a more.
Oh,
No,
you could use
Alexander,
is that
without
you?
someone eating rats recreationally.
with a Spot, no. Fortunately.
Oh.
I've felt everything. If it's not murder, I'm crap at it.
I feel that. I feel that.
At some point, the office cleaners, you would also at some point catch wind. Maybe there's a newsie outside the window of the office or something. Where you hear about the attack on some dwarves.
Oh Lord, another one?
Going to get more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna jump to the next day.
Yep.
The office is all cleaned up. Now there's filing cabinets and whatnot, but it looks like the police took almost every scrap of paper out of here.
Any other stuff, just out of respect of privacy, she would burn. There's probably a burning barrel somewhere.
But yeah, all his case files, all that kind of jazz. Would they?
No, I take that back. She would contact Zoot and be like, "Is there anything that you might need from Mickey's office that is left?" Because they did say they would keep him in the loop.
Yep. They've promised that over and over and have not really fulfilled that promise.
He'll swing by and he'll look through.
And
Or if there's any
Teak will-
personal like effects or
No.
I
They
suppose
work
we'll
together
fill
a
him
few
in while
times.
he's there.
You know, they got along well, but it's not like this was his best buddy or anything.
still.
But yeah, he comes and
I
looks.
guess-
Oh yeah, they didn't leave much of anything paperwork wise.
Nope.
Fill him in while we're doing it.
Yep.
Okay.
I will cast story time at 5th level.
So you fill him in, and he'd heard about the initial attack, just in the news. He read the paper this morning about the dwarves that got attacked.
Do you have any ideas what it might be?
Who knows? I mean, we've had the Brew step out of legend in town. So it could be anything.
Are there any other like weird bedtime stories that that would go through my head besides the Brew?
Oh, there's the Brew. There's Scorpion Men.
So we haven't really seen the pictures or heard back on the report of what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Anything that would maul something?
Scorpion Man.
More animal, mammal-like maybe than insect. I mean, aside from a random jaguar walking down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you've got things like giants wouldn't really maul you with they'd do the blunt force trauma, but they wouldn't have the claws.
Yeah.
Give me an ideal roll.
Yeah.
Normal?
Yeah, just normal size.
Success! Woohoo!
Hey.
Both the elves are like, wait a minute.
Hold up.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Elf powers activate.
All right. So as y'all are
Someone
cleaning, I guess y'all are throwing,
something.
or after Zoot showed up, y'all are throwing ideals back and forth.
Yep.
Just brainstorming. Body doubling.
One of you remembers stories about something called was it a jack-o'-bear? That the descriptions make it sound like a jack-o'-lantern head on more or less a upright bear's body.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Let's see.
Rain nightmare fuel.
Indeed. Let's see. What else has claws?
Squashacabra.
Some vampire stories say they can pop claws. Werewolves are a thing.
Yeah.
Are the living dead a thing?
Just said vampires.
Are. Yeah.
Besides, like zombie living dead.
Oh, zombies, skeletons. Sure, if somebody uses magic to animate bodies.
Okay.
Do any of them
Trolls
like
are a thing.
leave their prey or hunt or whatever, or just attack for attacking's sake? Because I mean, some of these may have been more like hunting for sustenance versus hunting for sport kind of thing.
Let's see. The jack-o'-bears are supposed to just kill whatever they run across.
Would have been more bodies then.
Yeah. And like none
Any
of the
that
stories
would-
y'all remember involve them being particularly intelligent, so them using a gun or anything.
any that may be allied with people. Because maybe the one that had the gun was separate, and the one that mauled was another one?
Or manipulating,
Yeah.
mind control.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's kind of up in the
even
air at that
something more
point.
spiritual?
There are stories of spirits that come at people like animals, or vengeful ghosts clawing at people. That's been a thing. There's all sorts of summoned creatures that could have been used. Some shamans can. You remember stories of a shaman being able to send part of their spirit out to do stuff. You bring magic into it, it opens up a lot of possibilities.
Open a book, flip a page, and we could have a suspect, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, what if it's a vampire?
Michael did it.
Add some garlic.
I don't think garlic would help.
Running water.
Well,
Now we get to see who the Jacobear really is. It's Old Man Smithers.
As far as
maybe
weaknesses of
once.
vampires, you've seen and heard vampire movies and vampire stories, and who knows which parts of that's true, which parts are just folklore.
Vampire propaganda.
Gonna get silver-plated bullets.
Once we have more information, maybe we'll be able to narrow it down.
Just feels like I
And
should be doing something.
well, we're cleaning, and we can always work on getting a meeting set up between the two sides, probably sooner rather than later.
There enough room in here to do that?
It would just be the two leaders.
Well,
It'd be
it
cozy.
depends.
Yeah.
It's not like okay.
There's enough
have
room that
assumed-
you've got, the filing cabinet along the wall. Mickey's got a desk, chairs on the side of the desk, and he's got like a small couch, kind of over to one side.
What if
Maybe.
like, the main guy and his like daimyo or whatever the hell they're called,
Yeah,
like second
major domo.
majordomo, that's the one.
Yeah.
And on both sides, and just bring them together, have a talk, and then I'll be the one disarming people.
Yeah, no, you can do that. They could, their security stands out in the hallway. It's just them in there with a couple of you to act as security.
Yes.
The whole impartial
Yes.
third party thing.
Yeah.
If you two want to see about it, or if you all want to see about extending invitations, we can get in contact with George and see if he can extend an invitation to the dwarven side.
Possibly.
Better sooner than later. We don't want this to bubble further. If we can get them to temporarily work together for both their good, they can go back to being, rivals in a week or two.
There's something bigger happening.
Yeah. It's to both of their benefit to figure out what this is, because it's gone after both sides already. It doesn't care.
It cares in that it's making other people's. It's making it seem like it's the other group.
It's making magic a target, which then makes strange folk a target, or magic users as well.
All right. So y'all get the place cleaned up. You get the word out. That's where y'all are meeting the next day.
It smells like pine sol.
Fabuloso.
Oh, lemon, fabuloso, yes. The green fabuloso.
Yep.
I'm going to say George. Somebody gave George a phone number where he could check in with y'all. All right, so the next day, you all meet up in the office.
From Venezuela.
It's practically standing room only when all y'all are in there.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of you can sit
cozy.
on, a couple of you can sit on the couch. There's a couple of chairs. Some of you
Teak is on
linger.
a filing cabinet,
Yep.
the tallest one in the room.
Put a step stool
Salvador is
by it so he can get up there.
Salvador is sitting lightly sitting on one of the tables like X-File style.
Vivian's leaning against the desk.
And then I think he starts off and goes, so we should probably act sooner rather than later. There's not a lot of room here, but probably enough room for like the leaders and their major demos and like mediators, plus security out front.
Another option, considering that we isn't actually just, if anything, proving that both sides are not to blame too.
That's true. Right now, you just got theories.
Did the newspaper say, or the newspaper say where? I'll say it out loud because I didn't get the paper. Did anyone get the paper? Did it say where the attack was?
Or any details about the attack?
It did
Wait,
give
is this
you.
the next
This
day?
is
This
the
is the
door.
next
It's the
day.
next
We're
day.
all together.
Meeting at the office.
Yes.
Oh, Charlie would have the paper.
Okay.
So y'all check the paper right quick. Sure enough, it tells you it tells you the address of where it happened.
Okay.
Charlie would tell him, hey, basically, they assumed it was blunt force trauma to the back of the head.
Ow.
Anything else? I mean, that's
He apparently had a claw mark on his arm.
That sounds like
These
the
two
brew.
separate people.
Hmm?
Was it two separate people that were attacked?
One person was dead when the police arrived.
Yeah.
He was shot, according to the police report, or not the paper.
The
said
newspaper.
The police report. And then you had the one injured guy, which is the only one Charlie's got any special information on, because they took him to the hospital. He died there.
It's always been two victims, one shot and then one mauled.
Well, there's also
Or
one
at least the last two.
that they think may be missing, because the club guy was mumbling about they took him away, or it took him away. Excuse me.
I mean, neither dwarves nor orcs have claws, to my knowledge.
Looks over at the dwarf and orc.
To
Orcs have thick nails. They
do the
could make them
shotgun
claws if they wanted to.
blast.
This is one
What
thing that when you spoke to the, forgot the actual orc's boss's name, or
Boss Marty.
He doesn't tell you. He does not tell you that he talked to Boss
He
Marduk.
said
Oh,
he
that's
talked
true.
to
He just said he went
contacts.
to talk to some people.
I did not tell you I talked to Boss Marduk.
when you talk to your contacts,
Mhm.
was there any of the orc mob's people missing?
I don't think they mentioned anything about missing.
No,
Just
they only mentioned the dead.
yeah, just the dead two.
Oh,
I mean,
Could
if
just be-
it's, but the thing is if it's anything like the slaughterhouse, it could be another one of those setups somewhere else, and there were actually three, and they're taking one of them away.
there could maybe
Because
be people that haven't checked in.
Because the witness that I spoke to said the large individual had what he thought was a barrel over his shoulder. It may have been a person.
Possibly.
Either
Well,
way, go ahead.
when it comes to the wounds,
Do you
no
have any?
dwarf could have made that shot at that angle.
It was done in a downward
Yeah,
direction, wasn't it?
No dwarf could have made that shot.
Unless they had a step stool.
None to be
It-
found.
Or they were standing on top of each other. No, that
And-
still wouldn't work.
And the claw marks were very large, indicative of a paw size that is reminiscent of a bear, but not close enough to be a bear. Whereas
Maybe
one
Gru?
had puncture marks where they were grabbed and thrown.
Did
Watched one knock you silly.
the report show any signs of shell casings, like I asked?
Oh yes, Michael. If Leo brings that up, Michael, who read through the report, would recall that. Yes, they recovered 2 shells or 2 shell casings.
Mhm.
Oh no, wait. He's not using a double barrel. It's not using a double barrel, is it? Let me double check.
Okay, this guy has stats. We will be fighting him now.
No, a shell casing, excuse me, because there was only the one shot. The other 2 were killed.
With fists, yeah.
Well, claws, whatever.
The fisticuff.
So yeah, they did recover, shotgun shell.
How large was it?
It was one of your. It was one of your standard sizes. I don't remember exactly what the standard sizes for shotguns are.
All right.
It's something you could just go to a store and buy. It wasn't some kind of
Okay.
custom something.
Okay. The fact that the witness said it seemed to match his size, so even so the shotgun would be larger than. All right. But it was a single shot shotgun then.
Yeah, it looks like 12 gauge would be the most likely.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so you get there. You've exchanged information. You've talked about possibly getting the
Extending invitations.
yes, the peace meeting.
I vote we
We should,
get started on that.
and
That's
we
gonna
should
take
also
much longer to
probably at
start.
least. We should also at least try to get an idea about what happened at the dwarven, or at least more information on that.
On the what now?
Essentially,
dwarven
when the
attack.
dwarves were attacked,
Okay.
get
This-
more
This
information
most
there.
recent attack. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So who's handling which part?
Teak is hand delivering a letter.
Yeah, if Teak wants to hand deliver a letter, that'll work. I think Salvador would like to go to investigate the new crime scene.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was planning on going too. So.
Yep.
So I assume
Perfect.
George would be going to contact the Brewers Guild.
He would. He would primarily be going there to leave a message with basically the pawn shop owner, that if if there's a way we could set up a representative for hopefully a neutral meeting due to recent circumstances. Because there's at least 1 or 2 parties that would like to have a talk, if possible.
That's way above the pawn shop guys' pay scale. He sends you back to talk to Wolf, and Wolf's like, yeah, he ain't
Gotcha.
he's not high enough to make that decision. So, but you get in touch, and they're sending it up the chain.
Bane.
Did
I mean, he
Mickey,
figured he'd send them to Wolf at some point.
did Mickey have a phone in the office? I mean, the
like he
restaurant downstairs had one. I didn't know if the offices were set up with one.
I will say if Mickey didn't have one, Michael is getting one installed.
Yeah, Vivian would. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll say he did because I think I mentioned him having a Rolodex at one point.
she
So I
would
guess he'd
take
always
care
run
of
downstairs to use that one. But anyway,
getting the phone switched over,
Okay.
at least with a switchboard to their information.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's not really a problem. You can get the
Hey, if
Not any
anyone
trouble
calls
getting
asking
the-
for this,
when you talk to the operator, they ask you if you'd like a different number or keep the same number.
just keep the same number. That way, if someone calls asking for Mickey, they can explain that he's not available because he's dead.
Yeah.
He's no longer here. Oh, can you give me his forwarding address? And you just give him the address to the funeral home or the cemetery.
Graveyard.
Plot 16. There you go. But
So before everyone leaves, I did run into Rella Corona at the DA's office.
I didn't even know she was still in town.
Apparently she is. She was trying to get a hold of her brother's effects. Doesn't know when it might be. Asked for information about whether or not he was involved. I shared Rob was allowed to, since there's still an ongoing investigation. However, she has requested that I pass on the number to their family home to speak with us as a group at some point in the future.
Well, we're waiting for people to call us back. I'll reach out to her just to check up on her.
In which case, he'll pull out the little notepad card thing that she gave him and he'll set it out on the table.
First entry in the Rolodex.
Yep.
brand new Rolodex.
Get that fresh paper smell.
First number and it's old money.
They have requested that if she has any further information on what things her brother might have been up to or might have been doing, that she either approach us or the police department to provide intel, as she had a decent amount to say about him. And it paints a bit of a picture. Left family home about 6 months ago. Got its own apartment. Past year or two has been really withdrawn. And according to her, been acting odd and has always had an interest in the strange folk and the magic you all do. Given in whose company we found him and what was also in that room.
The bigger question is, during this meeting, if we talk to her, we may need to gain entrance into her brother's apartment if she has access to it. Or has this already been investigated by the local authorities?
Already been investigated by the local authorities.
All right.
Considering they have all the items from there, it may just still be an active investigation, so in which case we probably shouldn't go in.
Yes.
It is. Meanwhile, I might be able to get some information at the DA's office since it is an active investigation. So that's something I can look into at a later date.
Because if he was the one summoning them,
Well, if he was the one summoning them, he's already gotten his comeuppance.
but it also means the details on how to summon them are known to someone other than him.
One crisis at a time. We'll arrange the meeting first and go from there.
It's 9:34, so
Yep, we're about to wrap up. All right, but so Salvador and Leo were going to the crime scene. Was anybody else going to the crime scene?
I don't think anyone else was.
Vivian will stay at the office.
all right.
He would have someone else to write the letter over him because
Vivian has nice handwriting. She'd write both the letters.
Yeah.
Michael will go to the crime scene as well.
All right.
Okay.
So when y'all get there, you're poking around. It's not hard to find where it happened at. You notice some people in the area watching you. And eventually a young dwarf boy walks up to you.
Cool.
Are you? Oh, give me spot checks right quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad our detection is
Hey,
active
critical.
now.
nice.
24. That is a
Alright.
success. I think it's a special 6.
Still a failure.
That is less than a half for me.
All right. What was the? What's your skill?
Yeah.
Patrick.
That is a 20. As I have a 50. It was 24 was what I rolled. So
Okay.
couldn't remember if that was a special or not. So
No, special. You have to roll a 10.
yeah.
Also, because if I can also do this, since our detection did go off, so that power is now active. I'd like to see what I can glean from this dwarf that is approaching us.
All right.
A child.
Young
Have to
kid.
vibe check this.
Nothing seems overly weird about him.
Except he's a stand user.
That's the thing is, I do have to make an idea roll to see if I can glean more than just surface stuff.
Oh.
Child all by himself. I cast fireball.
Nope, never mind.
But anyway, with the spot checks,
Yep.
before he approaches you, there was a bit of kind of muddy bit close to a storm drain that you find a very large footprint. Not wearing any shoes. You can't really identify what it is, though. There is a claw. It is a foot with claws.
I'll sketch it.
And then this dwarf boy approaches you. Are you looking for the thing that did this?
Yes.
That's what we hope to achieve. Yes.
Do you know something?
And
he starts crying while he's talking to you now.
I'll get down on a knee and be like, God, you guys are. And he was like, it's okay. We're here. We're here to help.
me and Butch found the footprint y'all were looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got down into the storm drain, and I'm calling it a storm drain. It's one of those like trench kind of things, drainage ditch more than anything.
Gotcha.
Little deeper, a little wider than you'd think of ditch, but
Yeah.
It's just the rain runoff.
But so we found another print. Looked like it was walking that way.
Okay.
But when we got to the bridge, something grabbed Butch.
Like, when was this? Today?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thank you for telling me. You were very brave.
Yeah.
Do you have somewhere to go?
Not really. And he looks a little
Sheepish.
I was going to say poor.
Yeah.
Not quite homeless, but.
Well,
and in the
classic.
distance of the direction you pointed, you can see this bridge.
mm-hmm.
That's probably a little higher than it should be, but yeah.
Can I roll a occult roll in this instance?
Sure.
I'm trying to determine what creatures would enjoy hiding under bridges, or in this case,
It's the troll.
I like to
Grab
get
the
in on
old
that
troll.
too. Just to see.
All right,
if I can
give me 2 occult rolls.
Hey,
literally,
success.
for me it was a success, if just barely.
Yep. I mean, everybody's heard the story of the 3 billy goats gruff.
Yeah.
So you're aware of stories that talk about trolls hiding under bridges. But you also know anything that's sensitive to light, we're trying to find somewhere to get out of the light. Trolls can be a little sensitive to sunlight. Trying to think. I can't remember. I don't think orcs are in this setting.
No.
But there's various subterranean races that might be. And if you get into creatures of chaos, then you have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll still talking to this kid. I'll be like, "Do you know where Auntie Jin's is?"
No. He's heard that name before, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, all I can ask you then is just stay safe, stay low, stay in the alleys.
What did you say your name was?
the little kid had not given you his name. His buddy's name that he said got grabbed is named Butch.
Butch.
His name is Cecil.
Cecil.
Oh, Cecil, do you know where the local precinct is with the police?
Yeah.
So, tell you what. Go there and tell them what you told us. And tell them that Michael Anderson sent you. And they'll take care of you there, okay?
Okay. Yeah, you usually trust the police, but
Gotta start somewhere.
Yep.
But all right.
Above the kid, so he doesn't see. Salvador rolls his eyes, and then we'll head towards the bridge.
All right. So we will wrap there with you 3 dropping down into that drainage ditch and headed towards the bridge.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I always
got a
have fun
successful
running.
roll out there.
I got to introduce some more of the NPCs.
Yep.
I realize I've been a little slow introducing some of them.
Yep.
Oh shit! You're completely right. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but whatever.
Hope anybody that comes by and watches had fun. Hope our new visitor in the chat enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us again next week. Again, I was your storyteller for the evening, Jason, and with me has been Patrick as Leo, Rappy as Charlie, Duba as George, Jeremy as Salvador, Eric as Michael, Sarah as Vivian, and Carr as Teak. And we will see y'all next time.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
So tread with care and heed the sign. Abomination, Ali's light. For in the night the shadows grow and take with them your troubled soul.